Welcome to Rhubarb Yoga. So today we're going to start with Child's Pose, or Balasana in Sanskrit. Child's Pose can be thought of as a very basic pose and the foundation potentially of each practice, as its use is and can be a starting block, a pause and rest, but also a final ending to practice if that's what you choose. Personally, I do it in the morning as I've just woken up and stretch out in bed, and I find that a good start to the day, and it can be held as long as you want. So let me demonstrate what Child's Pose is. So, kneeling with the sitting bones resting on the heels. Now, not everyone is built the same way, we all know that. Some of us are blessed with lovely long legs, lovely long arms, or fantastic short arms and brilliant short legs. So, if your heels do not meet your sitting bones, you have some options. If they are just a little bit away, or it's a bit uncomfortable, a small blanket is perfectly fine. If your knees are a little tweaky, you can place that blanket between the calves and the thighs, and that will just boost you enough to give comfort and relief from pressure of the knees. If that's not quite enough for you, you can go to a thin cushion, and that can very nicely fit in and give you that protection and fill that space. And if you're not quite doing that with either of those, you have the choice of a good old block, which, resting just on the back of the calves, can still give you the result you need. So coming from that, let's look at Child's Pose. So Child's Pose, resting, or as close as we can, heels on sitting bones, we allow the front of the body to rest over the thighs. And by doing that is twofold. We're allowing the lungs to relax and open and soften, to allow the breath to become more soft and relaxed as well. And also the back, it can stretch and expand by lying over the thighs down to gravity. You have a choice of arm positions. The classical one is to walk the arms forward and bring the forehead to the ground, or as close as your body allows you. And again, you have the choice of a block under the forehead, just to give you that extra height, if that's what you need. And then come to rest. Start to discover the position and start to understand how it feels for you. Let your breath become steady and regular. And just understand what Child's Pose can be. So once you've mastered that, and you've developed it, and you've chosen to elongate its time, perhaps, you have another choice. You can change your arm positions. This being a more traditional approach at Child's Pose. There are others, particularly if you have shoulder issues. So with Child's Pose, again, we have options. So coming down, you can lie the arms alongside the body, rest the hands by the feet, and gravity again will soften the shoulders, open up the scapula, and just allow everything to rest. So from this pose too, again, if it's slightly uncomfortable, you've had an injury, you can also bring your arms out a little bit to the side. But as everybody is different, work with what you have and you'll discover what works for you. From Child's Pose, we can move into a couple of other expansions on Child's Pose. So we can go into side stretching. Side stretching is fantastic for waking up the body, opening up muscles around the lungs, and helping our lung capacity and our depth of breath. All things truly valid to whatever you decide to do and how you decide to progress with yoga. So, coming to our normal child's pose, we come up onto fingertips. By doing this, we're opening up the entire underneath of the arm, right into the armpit, expansion, space into the top of the ribs, and to start at the top of the chest. The peak of the lungs can start opening by doing this very simply too. And what we will do is we'll walk our arms over to one side, keeping on fingertips instead of dragging our body along. Do not worry about the depth of curve. It's creating the space which you will feel on the stretch on the opposing side. You'll feel the ribs opening up like the gills of a fish. The gaps between the ribs are the intercostal muscles, and they will alleviate and open, take away tension, and just allow the breath to become deeper and richer by doing this stretch. Now if you find that this is uncomfortable on the wrists or the fingers, you can lower the hands down, very simply. Or you can even put one hand on top of the other to stop the sensation of potential slipping, which can feel like it may happen if you're not used to this. Only thing to be guarded of, don't roll the hips. Keep those heels under those sit bones. That's the important thing to prevent twisting of the pelvis and twisting of the hip bones, particularly if you suffer from any lower back issues. So keeping that side stretch will do everything beneficial to wake up the body. It's a great pause pose halfway through. If you've done a very intense yoga pose that you need to rest from, this is ideal too. Repeating that on the opposite side, of course. One of the most important things about yoga is balance. So whenever we work a pose, we ensure we do both sides. To work in opposition is not healthy for our body. So just going on those two poses alone, they will give you peaceful moments, the ability to calm down and rest. Also preparation and stretching. So it can get you started in the morning, and it can help you rest at night. I hope that you get from it something valuable. Thank you very much.